Hello everyone and welcome to the Homestand TV. I'm your host Celine Chamarki alongside my co-host Justin Pooney.
Celine!
Justin!
Hey! We're such losers.
we really are. So it's the midway mark of nearing the midway mark of the 2023 season. So it's only fair we talk predictions and we get a little ahead of ourselves here. So player predictions for the awards and also the Stanley Cup.
My favorite.
So the first one we'll start off with the Rocket Richard.
Connor McDavid, hands down, slam dunk. You don't have to finish the question. Connor McDavid, he's on pace to break a whole bunch of records.
Yes.
Have the best season we've seen in a long time. Connor McDavid, Rocket Richard, book it.
Oh, for sure. He's going to surpass his 100 points season. Also, but Tage Thompson.
Yeah, he had a 5-goal game earlier this year. He's a prolific goal scorer.
Underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't expect him to have the season that he's having this year. So you got to give credit where credit is due. And I feel like it's going to be maybe not so much of a tight race between the two, but at least he's going to be up there in the talks.
Yeah. Bo Horvat could be in the race still, too.
Shouting out his Canucks loves. Yes,
yeah,
of course. Of course. Norris Trophy. Norris Trophy. Who do you have?
I got to say Cale Makar. I know Erik Karlsson had a resurgence here, but he plays for the Sharks. They're horrible. I think we're about to enter the era where Cale Makar goes on a string of just winning a whole bunch of Norris trophies because he is far and away the best defenseman.
Bobby Makar.
And Bobby Makar, that's what they call him for, right? He's in that BioSteel commercial with Connor McDavid. He is, quite frankly, I think second best player in the NHL behind McDavid, right?
Close.
And I think you're gonna just see him get better and better and better. And I think this is the year Cale Makar wins. Yeah. Although it is generally the Norris Trophy goes to the guy who has the most points. Even though that might be Erik Karlsson, he plays on a bad team, so Makar.
I'm still going to take Erik Karlsson.
No, okay.
I have faith. I mean, he's on pace to having like one of his career best years. I swear to God. That guy came out of nowhere, and this year he's just being like an A1 player.
Yeah.
I mean, at even strength, he's putting up a point per game too. He's just a really solid defenseman, and he's really showing what he's worth when they did that trade a couple years ago.
You remember, like, he was so dominant in Ottawa, and then he kind of went to San Jose, and it kind of fell off. But to see him kind of, like you said, resurge and come back up like that, it's one of the best stories so far this year is the resurgence of Erik Karlsson's play, and he's reminding the league just how great of a player he was. Because we kind of forgot about that over the last couple of years.
No, we really did. We really did. So kudos to Erik Karlsson. I'm going to stick with him, and you're sticking with Makar on that one. Vezina. I'm going to stick with Boston on mine. I'll take Omar.
Omar?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm thinking there's so many good goalies out there. Vasilevsky. Maybe Shesterkin again in New York if they're playing well, right? Although a lot of the top goalies right now have not been playing that well this year.
I agree.
I still think that maybe Linus Ullmark. I
feel like he's only up there though because the team is obviously.
Yeah, and you got to think about what the team he plays in front of, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna go Andrei Vasilevsky. I think he turns around the second half of the year in Tampa. They're kind of hovering in the middle of the pack. They have a really good strong half in the second half of the season. I'm gonna go Andrei Vasilevsky.
Fair enough answer. Yeah. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah. And now HART Trophy.
HART, that's got to be McDavid. I think again he's gonna break. He's on pace to get 160 plus points. He's the best player, head and shoulders above the rest. I think you would have had Jason Robertson a little bit earlier. A couple weeks we were talking about Jason Robertson, but I think now it's McDavid, right?
You know what? I was gonna stick with Jason Robertson.
Really?
I was gonna pick him. I mean, he's having a really good year this year. But I don't know. When you talk about McDavid too, I mean, it's just he's on track to breaking so many things.
The NHL, like the HART Trophy, it's not ever about the MVP per se. It's about whoever picks up the most points and all that stuff. The
whole package.
Yeah. So I think while Jason Robertson might be the most important player
for that team,
for
100%,
his team, absolutely right. He might be up there like that, but I still think it goes to McDavid.
Fair enough. Well, you can't go wrong with any of the picks that we said today. And now, the moment of truth.
Yeah.
The Stanley Cup. Who is going to be the Stanley Cup champion this year?
So, remember we did this before the season, right? You picked Calgary.
I picked
How's Calgary looking out right now?
Yeah, okay, let's not. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to be honest. And no, actually, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree. It's hard to pick the Stanley Cup.
It's like finding a needle in the haystack. It's going to be like I picked Edmonton. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm still holding out hope, but once they lost to Vander Kane, it's been kind of tough. But who do you got? You go first. You go first.
Honestly, I'm just
the Toronto Maple Leafs?
No. Actually, no. I mean, I want to pick them. I always want to pick them, but I mean, like, like we were saying in another episode, until you make it past the first round, then I might pick you. But I'm going to stick with maybe Carolina. Oh, but Boston too.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like Boston, it could be like one last hurrah with all the big players. You never know.
I don't. It's
Like St. Louis. Think about this. I
St.
always
Louis,
bring it back.
Yeah.
From
yeah,
a couple years ago.
couple
Who would have
years ago.
thought? Like, it's Cinderella's story. So you never really know. It's kind of hard to predict.
I'm looking at, when I look at the landscape of the league right now, I really think I like the Carolina pick, because I think Carolina
I
has
think
been
it's a
there.
solid all-around
They're
pick.
very solid around a solid team. You know, they have, players that are gonna get healthy. Vegas, people are sleeping on Vegas a bit.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to bet against Colorado though. It's really hard.
You think it's going to be a repeat?
It's very hard for me to bet against Colorado, because they're gonna get Landeskog back. They're gonna get Byron back. They're gonna probably make an addition at the deadline. But I don't know. Pittsburgh's not playing bad this year too. Crosby's on pace to have another 100+ point season. I just look at pretty much I literally just look every contending team. You know what? I want to see the Penguins win the Stanley Cup.
I like that
I
pick.
want to. I don't care if it's crazy or anything. I want to see Crosby, Malkin, and Letang get one more cup.
I love that pick. I hope that pick comes true.
Yeah.
I really do hope that pick comes true. Well, that's all from us again today on the Homestand TV. I'm your host, Celine Markey, alongside my co-host, Justin Booney, and I can't wait to see what ends up happening by the end of the year. Who's going to be right here? Is it going to be the Carolina Hurricanes or
Oilers Penguins Stanley Cup final? You heard it here first.
Okay, let's see if that comes true.